Entrepreneurs who are 10 times dumber than you and having 10 times your results because they have mastered the skills that are absolutely required to win in business. And no, this has nothing to do with marketing, sales, product building, operations. No, this is something else. This is something deeper that pretty much nobody discussed, but truly makes the difference. This is what makes Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. This is what makes Elon Musk, Elon Musk. It's not how much they know about their specific craft, but how good they are at managing themselves. In other words, it's all about unlocking your peak performance. Welcome back. If you don't know who I am, I'm Leon Castillo, founder of Selfmastered, Peak Performance Academy for founders and CEOs. We help entrepreneurs achieve 100% clarity on what needs to be done, 100% belief in their ability to do it, and 100% discipline, consistency, and focus until they get it done. In other words, we make people perform at their peak. And this video is specific about the 4 specific performance verticals and the corresponding skills that every entrepreneur masters in order to scale. Some people are smart, they hire us and they learn it in just a few weeks and they have outsized results very soon. Others, they don't get to know us and they take decades to fully dialed in what I'm going to share with you. And really stay until the end of the video because this is a complete blueprint. Nobody really discusses this the way we do it, and this is going to be massively beneficial for you. So take pen and paper and let's dive deep into it. Vertical number 1 is spiritual performance, which is something that sounds woo-woo for most people, but really is the secret sauce. If you read biographies of the great entrepreneurs in history, Rockefeller, Carnegie, Elon Musk, they are all powered by a very strong sense of purpose. They're very clear on their identity and they know their core values and they use them in order to prioritize and make effective decisions. As Nietzsche said, he who has a strong why can bear any how. And a spiritual performance about dial in that why you do what you do. Why is that even important? Why does your business need to exist? If this is not clear, you will not survive in business. You can last a few months or years, but at some point you're going to hit a wall. And I've seen it so many times. We work with people that are already from like 5 to 9-figure entrepreneurs, and even those that sell their business at specific life-changing revenue for a life-changing sum, they end up battling against this feeling of not having a strong why. So this is universal across all human beings and all entrepreneurs that we have worked with. You cannot win at a game that feels like work for you, but fun for someone else. If you are motivated by scientifically called extrinsic motivators, so we're talking about fame, money, Lambos, whatever, you are going to lose against someone who is intrinsically motivated to win at the same game. This is why dialing your spiritual performance is so important because it makes all the difference. There are 3 specific skills in spiritual performance that make all the difference. First is purpose and core values identification. Knowing what you do, why is that important, and what are the core values that you're going to be using to make effective decisions. If you're clear on who you are and why you do what you do, then you do not waste time on things that are not aligned with those core values. When you find yourself constantly wasting time in your day-to-day and falling for shiny object syndrome, that is because you're not clear on why are you here to do. So the first step is to dial in that thing. Then skill number 2 is identity shifting. Once you understand why you do what you do, you learn to effortlessly shift your identity into the person who actually carries out that why. Most entrepreneurs, most people at large believe that identity is fixed. They are who they are. Personality is permanent. There's just no way outside of it. But that is not true. There's plenty of psychological research that proves that we can transform our identity by mastering our internal world. The deeper we go inside, the more control we have over the core thoughts and emotions and behavior that we display. And over time, we can choose to be different. This is what identity shifting looks like. Once you know what the why is, you have a new identity that evolves along the path that you had set for itself. And the final spiritual performance skill is presence. And this is very important because if you're constantly lamenting the mistakes of the past or looking forward for a future that has not yet arrived, you are missing out on the present. The present is where all the action happens. The present is the only thing that is real. And elite performers understand that mastering the present is the best way to actually having the future they want. You will not find an elite athlete, for instance, wishing to win the race the day they need to race. No, they're just focused on the action, on what needs to be done at that specific specific moment in time. You won't find an MMA fighter in the cage thinking about the celebration that may or may not have come. No, they're constantly focused on making sure they win that fight. For you, it has to be the same. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to constantly be present in your day-to-day to master every single tiny task that will eventually lead you where you want to go. So these 3 skills are what I call spiritual performance skills and will create solid foundations for you to build on. First, purpose and core values identification. 2, identity shifting. And finally 3, presence. Knowing how to be present in the moment. When you are spiritually fit, you are more resilient. You're intrinsically motivated. You make the right choices because you have a very clear prioritization mechanism, which is your mission, which is your why. And you do not waste time on shiny objects, on things that sound cool, but do not reflect who you are willing to become. This is the reason why Elon Musk is so successful, because there's no money in the world that can buy him out of building SpaceX, Tesla, and everything else that he is involved in. He's always purposefully committed to building companies that pull humanity forward. And coincidentally, he's also the richest man in the world who has no houses and no cars, because that is not important for him. See how it works? Vertical number 2 is mental performance. Think of your mind as a software that you use to interpret the reality you live in. Everything that happens around you is neutral. Things just happen, and you are the one choosing what that means for you. When you are mentally fit, you are able to interpret everything under a positive light, which makes you consistent, resilient, and disciplined. Mentally fit people are able to rearrange their thoughts and their beliefs and their emotions in the most effective manner so they never get in their own way. And there's in essence 3 big skills in mental performance. 1, belief system optimization. So this is your ability to shed limiting beliefs and pick up new beliefs that serve you to move forward faster. This is what the truly elite do very well. They look at reality in an unbiased manner, and when they realize that they're believing something that is just not true, they shed that belief. Remember that we're talking about shedding your old identity. They understand that they can change their belief system. They can incorporate new information in order to become more effective. This is what makes elite entrepreneurs so effective, because they are not married to their own opinions. They're married to the truth. And this is what a mentally fit person would do. 2, cognitive flexibility. Your ability to hold opposing ideas in your head is a telltale sign of intelligence. I'm paraphrasing the famous sentence by School Fitzgerald. In essence, this goes beyond belief system optimization, has to do with being able to look at a specific situation from different perspectives, not being hard jam in one way to looking at reality, but instead you are able to navigate it effectively, to see the perspective, to see the angle that will allow you to move forward. So instead of seeing everything under a negative light, you give yourself the chance to find the silver lining every time. Cognitive flexible people are more prone to see failure as feedback, which is a core distinction of elite performers. And finally, discipline and consistency. Discipline and consistency are failures of mental management. This is what nobody really discusses, but it is true. When you have control over your mind, you can become relentlessly disciplined, because every time that your mind wants to give in because it doesn't want to face discomfort and wants to just get distracted, you are able to control your mind and remain consistent and disciplined. And this is a mental performance skill that can very well be trained. Mentally fit people never fall for negative emotions. They're able to leverage every piece of data in a positive way. They use everything life throws at them to become better. Every obstacle, setback, and failure is an opportunity to become better. This is what mentally fit entrepreneurs are able to do very well. I've been working entrepreneurs many years at this point, and I realized that those that are serial entrepreneurs that have been building business for the longest time, they end up developing strong mental fitness because there's no other choice, right? If you've gone through 3 bankruptcies, a couple divorces, and 25 years in business, and you're still in business, you are mentally fit. There's no other way, right? But if you train yourself to be mentally fit right from the start, like we do at Selfmastered, things improve way faster. Performance vertical number 3 has to do with your physiology, for priming your body to be high energy and prevent the buildup of stress in your body. Entrepreneurship is hard, and you're constantly subject to intense demands on your body and mind. If you have no fine-tuned routine to prime yourself for being high energy, you are going to suffer. So being physiologically fit is absolutely paramount. In my own practice, I've seen tons of correlation between being physiologically fit and actually being successful in business. And it wouldn't be otherwise, because the pressure is so immense and there's so much at stake in business that if you do not take care of yourself effectively, it just becomes very very hard to sustain that level. Being fit, healthy, prioritizing your rest and recovery protocols is absolutely fundamental. And here are 3 basic skills. One is stress management, absolutely fundamental. There's 3 types of stress: short, medium, and long-term stress. When you are good at stress management, you prevent short-term stress from becoming medium and long-term stress. Short stress is good because it builds up your nervous system, but medium and long-term stress are debilitating. Stress management is about knowing how to navigate stress so that it makes you stronger, not weaker. 2 is about rest and recovery, which is dialed in your sleep, active recovery protocols like cold showers, sauna, meditation, breath work, stretching. There's tons of them to remove what scientists call allostatic load, which is the progressive buildup of cognitive residue over the day. And finally, burnout proofing, which is about dialed in the structure of your days and week in order to prevent burnout from showing up. If you really nail this, you are going to sustain high quality focus for most of your day and weeks, and that will lead to outsized returns in business. Physiologically fit entrepreneurs are more resilient, quicker in their decision making, able to sustain focus for longer, and this eventually adds up to way more effectiveness in their day to day. And finally, of course, the 4th pillar, executive performance. Executive performance is about nailing the strategy, the execution, and then flow states in your day to day. It's about understanding how to set goals the right way, how to design a system for execution, how to set KPIs that tell you whether you're moving in the right direction or not, how to set lead and lag indicators in order to move forward. And finally, how to architect your workspace to induce frequent flow state, which is an altered state of consciousness that makes you on average 5 times more productive. This is what great executives do. They only work on the high leverage things in the most effective manner, accessing flow states frequently. If you are able to do these 3 things, you are going to run laps around everyone else who has no clarity on what needs to be done, how to best get it done, and how to access a flow state. Being relentlessly effective is the key to moving fast in business. So this is what elite entrepreneurs do differently. It's not about IQ, talent, none of that. It's about understanding the why behind your actions so you have absolute clarity on what needs to be done. It's about believing in your ability to get it done, accepting new information and leveraging it in order to become better over time. It's about priming your body for being high energy and having high quality focus every single day. And finally, it's about making effective decision, identifying the signal from the noise and being able to execute on the wildly important. If you nail these 4 things, spiritual performance, mental performance, physiological performance, and executive performance, you will have no other choice but to win in business. This is how you will scale 10 times faster than if you just send more emails or talk to more people or all that stuff, because that is not going to give you an edge. What made Michael Jordan special, what makes Elon Musk special, is not what they do, but how they do it and why they do it. In other words, it's always about performance. See you in the next video.